Well, guys, that was pretty ugly. That was very, very ugly. What is up, awesome people of the internet? Happy Sunday. Happy Championship Sunday. This is the time where women's basketball shines the brightest. You have the ACC tournament championship, which Notre Dame won earlier. You had South Carolina versus LSU for the SEC title, and South Carolina won that. And later today, or happening right now, we have the Pac-12 championship between USC and Stanford. But all the great stuff, all the hype, all the excitement and whatnot has led to a very ugly ending, a extremely ugly ending for South Carolina and LSU. So here's what happened. Here's what happened. From my perspective, here's what happened. So we are in the fourth quarter. South Carolina is winning, and there's a steal. MiLaysia Fulwiley has the ball. She's running down the court. Flau'jae Johnson wraps her up. Foul, intentional foul. Now play is dead. Players are walking back to the other side. And then we see Ashlyn Watkins sort of yell something in Flau'jae Johnson's face. And Flau'jae just sort of gives her a little forearm shove. And then we see Camila Cardoso come out of nowhere, it seemed, and shove Flau'jae Johnson down to the ground. We then see players. I'm sorry. It's that was Sakima Walker. I'm sorry, that was Sakima Walker. Then we see players just sort of like, what's going on? You see coaches sort of like coming in and trying to get Camila Cardoso back because Camila shoved her to the ground. And then we see out of nowhere some random dude jump across. He jumps down from the stands, jumps across the scores table, then tries to, try to shove or something Camila Cardoso. Then we see a cop hop over and get that guy. We later find out that was Flau'jae Johnson's brother. We saw other people. I specifically saw one other guy who jumped down from the stands, but he was grabbed by security. And players leave the bench. On both teams, players leave the bench, and eventually stuff got settled down. But the result of that was a 20-minute delay in the game. A 20-minute delay. Again, this game was almost over. 2 minutes left to go in the game, and then this happens. Intentional foul from Flau'jae Johnson. Gets heated. Her and Sakima Walker. And Camila Cardoso shoves her to the ground. Flau'jae Johnson's brother comes from the stands to defend his sister or whatever that was. And just chaos ensues. We had a 20-minute break while the refs looked at the monitors for forever to figure out what was going on. The end result was that Camila Cardoso was ejected from the game for fighting. Now, an ejection for fighting is actually very important for the women's basketball game, because that means that she will not be able to play in the next game. So when the South Carolina Gamecocks play in the NCAA tournament, that first game, Camila Cardoso will not be able to play. She will not be there for that game. And that makes sense. That makes sense, because she shouldn't have two-hand shoved Flau'jae Johnson to the ground. I get she was defending her teammate, but at the same time, you don't do that. You don't do that, because you knew exactly what the result was going to be. But emotions galore in this game. Also, there were ejections all throughout for leaving the bench. So at the end result, everybody from LSU that was on the bench at the time was ejected from the game because they all left the bench area. during that scuffle. And then the same thing for South Carolina. Everybody who was on the South Carolina bench, they ended up getting ejected as well for leaving the bench area. Leaving the bench area is, sure, it's a big deal for that particular game, but that does not come with a game suspension penalty, right? So getting suspended for fighting, you are penalized and you are not able to play in the following game. And when you leave the bench area, you're just ejected for that particular game. So that is something to note, is that all of the players who were ejected, not including Kamilla Cardoso, all the other players for both LSU and South Carolina will be able to play in the next game in the NCAA tournament. Of course, Kamilla Cardoso cannot do that. She cannot play. She is ejected because she was fighting. Now, for the person who came and jumped down from the stands and jumped over the scores table, that was Flau'jae Johnson's brother. That was completely uncalled for. Like, I get you're concerned about your sister, but at the same time, what are you going to fight? You're going to fight her? You're going to fight Kamilla Cardoso? Like, I thought that didn't make any sense. And there were other people who jumped down as well, but props to security for stopping those other people. And props to the cop who tried to quickly jump over and get Flau'jae Johnson's brother. But that don't make no sense. Like, are you serious? Like, she shoved your sister. Okay, like that. You gonna fight Kamilla Cardoso? Is that are you gonna defend your sister by doing that? I thought that was like absolutely insane. That made no sense. That is an embarrassment to him. That is an embarrassment to her family, because that's like, what are you doing? What are you doing, dude? So I thought that was kind of crazy. I think it's very likely. They did say that he left out in handcuffs, and two, I think it's very likely that he's banned from NCAA games in the future, and he should be. He should be banned from NCAA games in the future. Like, I get it, it's your sister, I get it, but at the same time, you got to be smarter than that. You have to be smarter than that, and not let your emotions just sort of get the best of you. Like, I just don't get that. Like, these are two women, or I mean, everybody on the court is women, and they get into a little scuffle. Your sister falls down. That don't mean you need to jump up in there. What are you going to do? I mean, it's all women out there. What are you going to do? Like, you're a dude. Stay out of this. Like, I thought that was, I thought that was kind of crazy. All right. So yeah, those are my thoughts. So that's kind of my initial thoughts about that. So, and also that's kind of the facts of what happened. There was a 20-minute delay. The refs found out, like, looking at the camera, saw all the different angles, saw all that came about. So they ejected everybody that wasn't already on the court for both teams, with the exception of Kamilla Cardoso was ejected out of the game. And so I believe it was, she was ejected from the game. And then there was one player from South Carolina's bench that did not come off onto the court from the bench area. And so they were able to sub in. And then also they said that Te-Hina Paopao was at the scores table, so she wasn't ejected from the game. But that's basically what happened. So it was 5 players available for LSU to finish out that 2 minutes. It was 6 players available for South Carolina to finish out that 2 minutes. And South Carolina, finished the game off and won the game. Now this was a very, very, very good game until leading up to that point. But I will say this. I blame the result of this game, what happened in that last 2 minutes, that altercation, that fight. I blame that solely on, well, not solely. I blame that largely on the referees. I blame that largely on the referees because they did not have control of this game. They didn't. They did not have control of this game. They allowed, they had a ton of missed fouls. There were a lot of fouls. Specifically, I saw a lot of fouls where South Carolina was fouling LSU and it wasn't getting called. Anissa Morrow was getting hammered in the paint. I saw Angel Reese getting hammered in the paint. They wasn't calling it. They were not calling some of those fouls. And you also saw, on the other hand, we also saw that Anissa Morrow early in the game threw an elbow and it wasn't called. So there were missteps from the referees that just it allowed something to fester. It allowed something to bubble up. It allowed anger and frustration to bubble up, and then the result that we had was this altercation, right? Flau'jae Johnson was upset, had a little like body check of sorts, and then Camila Cardoso shoves her, and it is what it is. And guys, this is just unfortunate. This is very, very unfortunate because this was a really good game. But ultimately, I do blame the referees. They didn't have control over this game. They didn't have control. And yes, there were missed fouls on both sides, but I saw way more missed fouls for against South Carolina to LSU than vice versa. Every time it seemed like Angel and Anissa was sort of going into the paint, they were getting hammered, and it wasn't getting called, and there was a lot of trash talk, and that's fine. Like, I have no problems with trash talk, but yeah, I thought it was kind of I thought it was messed up. I really did, and it just sort of ended the game. It ended the game. It just wasn't fun. It just, the way the game ended wasn't fun. MiLaysia Fulwiley played her butt off today, and that really should be the topic of conversation. But the conversation is now Camila Cardoso and what she did. That's the conversation now. After she had heroics in that last game, and she was absolutely phenomenal. Now it's all about now it's all about what Camila Cardoso did in terms of shoving Flau'jae Johnson, and that's a bummer, because Camila Cardoso should be celebrated heavily from what she did in that last game, but today is a new day, and she did what she did, and this is the result. Shout out to JH Marvelous. Thank you so much for the super chat. They said, you have an awesome channel. Many blessings. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, guys, that's the topic. Paris says, Flau'jae Johnson's brother should never be at another game. I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. And I'm sure he's regretting it now. He's regretting what he did, but like, you can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. Yeah. So I'm just saying, but it was a good game before that. Michelle says, no body check. Johnson shoved Watkins, period. Then Cardoso pushed her. You can call it a body check. You can call it a forearm push. It was like with her forearm. So I wouldn't say shoved. To me, shoved is two hands. That's shoved to me. But yeah, it either way, it wasn't good. Regardless of what you want to call it. It was kind of ridiculous. Not kind of. It was like, she should have did that. Just because you upset does not mean you get to do that. So, okay, all right. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, SAL. Jordan says Flau'jae ain't touch her. it looked like she did though. It looked like she touched her. I'm confused. It from looking at the replays, they showed it several times. It looked like she touched her. Edwin says, could you imagine if what the announcers first said was right and each team would have to play with 6 active players for the first? Yeah, that would have been terrible. That would have absolutely been terrible. Now I think that, you know, the conversation is about this fight now, or whatever you want to call this altercation, whatever. If we don't want to use the word for that. But this was unfortunate. This was a freaking-tastic game by South Carolina's MiLaysia Fulwiley. She played her butt off, and y'all, I am so excited to see MiLaysia Fulwiley play for South Carolina for years to come, because she was so good on the court today, and that really should be the conversation. So if you don't know, South Carolina won 79-72. We're going to just sort of get into an actual recap of the game instead of just talking about that altercation at the end of the game. But also, if you all can hit that like button, that would be absolutely fantastic. If y'all can hit that like button, we got a lot of people in the chat. But if you can hit that like button, that'd be great. All right, a couple more comments about that altercation. Gender group says Flau'jae absolutely touched her. Doesn't mean she should have got bodied. But she did get her contact with Watkins. Yeah, she did touch her. At least it looked like I saw it like she touched her. Q&A Williams says the ref lost control of the game early by not warning LSU players about the elbows. Yes, absolutely. Yes. And forearm shoves along with the trash talking. The LSU game style is edgy, chippy, and competitiveness. Yeah. So absolutely, the refs. Angel Reese got called for an intentional foul earlier in the game because she did swing an elbow and she act like, oh no, I didn't do that. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did, Angel. You did that. And a little bit after that, we saw a elbow that Anissa Morrow threw and it wasn't called. And I felt like after that, it seemed like the teams were like, okay, we gonna get after you. We gonna get after you, and we gonna see if these refs are gonna call something. And I thought, again, I really do think it was the refs that caused it. If they would have caught that intentional foul from Anissa Morrow, because she should have been charged with an intentional foul, I think it would have been a little bit. They would have been able to get the game under control a little bit better. And then, of course, you all have a ton of fouls that were called, a ton of fouls, and nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened. There were times where Angel Reese was getting slapped all over the arm, didn't call nothing. Same thing with Anissa Morrow, didn't call nothing. And that stuff continues to bubble up with teams. You can't just allow. Yes, let players play. Yes, I am all for refs letting players play. But to me, they were letting them play a little bit too much. Because it just brings frustration. And then all of a sudden, it all pops off. It all pops off. So I just, I don't like it, guys. I really don't like it, because this was a fun game throughout. This was a fun game to watch, and it didn't end up that way. It did not end up that way. Shout out to Mr. Milton for the super chat. Mr. Milton says, Quita, I agree. That was the causer of the situation because the refs allowed too much. All game. Yeah, they did. They allowed far too much. and let players play. No problem with that. No problem at all. Let players play. But eventually, you have to take control of the game. You have to, because stuff like this can happen. Yeah, I think it was not good. It was absolutely not good. And you know, that's the conversation now. That is the conversation. For you thing says Camila Cardoso was sucker punched by Haley. Really? I missed that. I absolutely missed that. If I will look at that. And yeah, I am very surprised that I missed that. I didn't see it. I didn't see that at all. I'm gonna try to pull up the video of the game to see if I can see that myself. If that's the case, then she should have got ejected. I don't know if that's the case because I didn't see it. All I have to go by is your comment. So yeah, I am not completely sure. But I do know this can't happen again. This absolutely cannot happen again. When we talk about women's basketball, we love the fierceness, we love the competitiveness, we love the fun that women's basketball has. And you don't want to see stuff like this, right? You don't want to see it because it is no fun at all for anybody involved. It provides a bad narrative, one for Camila Cardoso, and for South Carolina. And it's just, yeah, it's not what the game needs, right? It is not what the game needs. Because remember, it was do y'all remember back when Brittany Griner was in college and she had a physical altercation, and it felt like it took years and years and years for her to live that down and for people to eventually forget about it, and still people haven't forgot about it. And I think that this is unfortunately going to be what happens with Camila Cardoso, because you're gonna remember the chaos. You're gonna remember the stuff that happened, and you know, Don Staley's not happy about this at all. You know, Kim Mulkey is not happy about this. This was not cool at all. This was not cool. And so guys, I am taking a look at this video. I don't see anything from Hailey Van Leff. So I guess maybe I'm missing it or something. Maybe I am missing it because Hailey runs over and kind of gets in Camila Cardoso's face. I don't see it. I don't see it. Coffee Lover, thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. I really do. Let's see. Oh. Wait. It looked like Hailey Van Leff did something. And Camila turned over to her. Like she turned to her. Yeah, it looked like something must have happened. Bobby Albert says referees were somewhat of a problem just like yesterday, but South Carolina is turning the ball over too much and the bigs are not making shots they normally make. Yeah, there were a lot of missed shots. There were a lot of missed shots. LSU Tiger 2 says, if we're being honest, the biggest problem with women's basketball right now is the refs. The game is growing so much and it's disappointing. Yeah, I think you might have a point about that. I think you might have a point. You might have a point there because yeah, it feels like it's a constant drumbeat that it's in big games. It's always the refs. It's always the refs. And I just, I don't like it. The narrative shouldn't always be about the refs. You know, It shouldn't always be about the refs. Clint says, pray we get a healthy LSU in South Carolina with good officiating in the tournament. Yeah. Let's pray for that. But guys, if you didn't think this was a rivalry, this is officially a rivalry. This is officially a rivalry. Officially. Bree Lynn, thank you so much for the super chat. Bree Lynn says, I love Kamilla, but I feel bad for her. This makes her and South Carolina look bad. The whole game was tough. And why aren't these refs doing their job? Yeah. This is, it's a bad look for Kamilla. Like, Kamilla has her family is in the States with her. She's on such a high from a huge game. This past, the past game against Tennessee. And this is a bad look because people aren't going to forget. People don't forget stuff like this. And that's why it is crucial for you not to do this. It is absolutely crucial. Aubrey says, thanks so much for the super chat, Aubrey. Aubrey says the refs absolutely sucked this game. To the folks saying Flage started this, please stop. The refs let this game get out of hand. Yeah, ultimately, yeah, I do put this on the refs. Yes, players do have agency to do stuff, but I do put this on the refs. What happened? I do put this on the refs. I do. Let's see. Brian says, so why is it always the refs' fault when LSU gets beat? I mean, honestly, I think LSU was going to lose anyway. I thought South Carolina had this game before 2 minutes. Before the 2 minutes and that altercation happened, I thought LSU had the game. The refs, and I think if the refs would have called the game like they should have, South Carolina still would have won the game. I don't think the refs are the reason why LSU lost. I don't believe that at all. I do believe that this altercation that came up was only due to the fact that that we saw that good idea. All right, guys, we are moving on to subscribers only chat. We are moving into a subscribers only chat. So because seem like people going crazy in the chat. So yeah, subscriber only chat. Thank you so much, Kyra, for that suggestion. So if y'all want to say something in the chat, make sure to subscribe. We are on our road to 10,000 subscribers. So if you want to help out, and if you want to put something in the chat, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Yeah, Kamilla is Brazilian. Yeah, yep, she's from Brazil. Yep, she is from Brazil. All right, so guys, let's actually talk about this game. We have talked quite a bit about all this other stuff, all the other theatrics that ended this game. But guys, I want to talk about what actually happened in this game, because we saw a, calls aside, forget about the calls. We saw a fantastic game. We saw an absolutely fan-freaking-tastic game. Now, this game was pretty close, right? It was pretty close throughout, but we saw MiLaysia Fulwiley sort of take this team on her back. So there was a period in this game where MiLaysia Fulwiley just went off. I think she scored like 10 points in that third, was it the third quarter, I believe? 10 points. And she was lighting LSU up. And then Dawn Staley subbed her out. And then LSU started to get on the run. And then sort of during that fourth quarter, we saw that Te-Hina Paopao was on the bench for a good amount of that fourth quarter. And the reason why Te-Hina Paopao was on the bench is because MiLaysia Fulwiley was bowling. Like when you get to a point where you have a bench player that is just doing their thing, you want to keep them in the game, even if your starter is on the bench. Now, I absolutely loved the way that MiLaysia Fulwiley was playing in this game. I thought she showed up and showed out. She was giving them all the work. And with MiLaysia Fulwiley, it's not just her getting to the basket, because we have seen a lot of times in different games where she has like a crazy layup package, or she does a good job getting some flashy some flashy passes off, right? So we know that side of MiLaysia Fulwiley, but did you know she could shoot some threes? Did you know that? Like, she was 4 for 5 from the 3-point line, and she was just lighting them up. She was like, boop, boop, boop. And there were so many times where I was like, y'all better get on MiLaysia Fulwiley. Like, what are y'all doing? And they allowed MiLaysia Fulwiley to just absolutely dominate. And y'all, I just have to say, guys, like, what a treat we got to witness today. What a treat we got to witness with MiLaysia Fulwiley just going off. Yes, you can talk about all the other narratives about this game, but the thing that I want to talk about is this. This was the coming out party for MiLaysia Fulwiley. Yeah, sure. That game in Paris was a huge deal. But this is what it's all about. This is what it is all about. She's box office. She is big time. She is the real deal. And it gets to a point where you can't even guard it. You can't really guard it. Like, what can you do against MiLaysia Fulwiley? What can you do? Like, she is a fantastic player to watch, and I thought that she did a great job today. So shout out to MiLaysia Fulwiley. She does finish the game with 24 points, leading everybody in scoring today. She is the player of the game. She is the player that got South Carolina the win. And she came off the bench, y'all. She came off the bench and did all that. She outshined everybody. And y'all, her name is MiLaysia Fulwiley. She is from South Carolina. And y'all, remember, she is only a freshman. So we are just getting started. in that MiLaysia Fulwiley show. Like, I'm just saying, I am just saying. Vic says MiLaysia Fulwiley is must-see TV. She is must-see TV. Yes. Abso-freaking-lutely. Didi in Tennessee says, were you hoping for an upset? I mean, in general, I like upsets. I thought that South Carolina had the game. I thought that coming into the game, as the game was happening, I thought that. It never wavered to me whether or not South Carolina was going to win this game. They just seemed like the better team, especially with last year Poa out. I thought it was possible for them to get got. It was for sure possible, but it didn't happen. LSU was playing for Poa. They had a lot of emotions in this game, and I think that also was a contributing factor to what ended up transpiring. They were just so, like, I know they're probably still like heartbroken by like what happened with last year Poa, and like seeing her getting carted off and whatnot. That was probably a very traumatic time, and they wanted to win this game so bad that it seemed like they had a lot of emotions coming in. And ultimately, yes, emotions can be a good thing. Absolutely. Emotions can be a very, very good thing. But in this case, paired with the emotions of LSU, paired with South Carolina basically being at home, paired with the refs not taking control of the game, it was a powder keg. And in the last 2 minutes, we got what we got. But y'all, I do want to just, give MiLaysia Fulwiley her flowers, because I thought she played great. Ghost Ham says she's a beast. She is absolutely a beast. She absolutely is. Now, other narratives I want to talk about with this game. In general, LSU is a team that is going to have to figure out what to do now. They're gonna have to figure out what to do now, because this team, likely last year Poa is gonna be out for a long while. And how are they gonna win without her? I mean, sure, they'll win early on in the tournament. They'll win those games, but like when it really, really counts, when it really, really matters, how is this team going to pull off some wins? That's the question, guys. That really is the question. Guys, I do appreciate Nox's News on Twitter, who just sent me a video of Angel Reese pulling Camila Cardoso's hair. I do appreciate that. I did not see that when it happened. I absolutely missed that. To add to all the other stuff that happened in that game, Angel Reese did pull Camila Cardoso's hair. She did. She did pull her hair. That should have been seen by somebody, and that should have been there should have been something called about that, because you can't do that. You cannot do that, especially the fact that like basically it seems like most women's basketball players nowadays got bundles in their hair. So why are you gonna pull it? What I'm just like, I don't know. To me, I feel like they should be a little bit more like, they shouldn't pull people's hair, because if somebody pulled Angel Reese's hair and her bundles came out, then you all upset. I'm just saying, I think that shouldn't have happened. That shouldn't have happened. And thank you, Nox's News, for sharing that with me. I did not see that as the game was happening. I didn't see that. So I appreciate that. This was a game. This was for sure a chippy game from start to finish. This was a game that could have been controlled by the refs if they wanted to, but they decided to let them play. And yeah, guys, that's what it is. That's what it is. Ghost Ham says, how much are you going to let Reese get away with? I mean, the refs? I don't know what you mean. Nox's News says elbow Tessa while pulling hair. Oh, I didn't see the elbow. I didn't. I did not see the elbow at all. MMA Lifestyle says South Carolina won the SEC title, but at what cost? The fact that Kamilla won't be able to play in the first round, that there's a high chance South Carolina could be sent home in the first. MMA Lifestyle, South Carolina's not losing in the first round, though. If they lose in the first round, then they got other problems. If we see that South Carolina loses in the first round, that there's other problems for them to deal with. I do not see them. I do not see them getting losing in the first round. I don't see that at all. I don't. Slow Motion says y'all always be hating on Reese, but y'all love to have her on y'all team. I don't know. I don't know exactly who you're talking about, but yeah, I don't hate on Reese. I think Angel Reese is a phenomenal player. Absolutely, I would love to have her on my team. Absolutely. When she goes to the WNBA draft, I hope she goes to Chicago Sky. I think she is a fan-freaking-tastic player. That being said, she pulled someone's hair, and she shouldn't do that. That shouldn't happen. It doesn't matter who you are, and it doesn't matter who someone personally likes. Like, you shouldn't do that. You absolutely should not do that. I don't think this is the worst thing for Angel Reese. Like, I think it's fine. Like, Angel Reese is great. Angel Reese is good. I don't know who's hating on Angel Reese, but is it the idea that you give any criticism about anybody and that's hating? I kind of feel like sometimes that's kind of what it is. Anytime you say something that's critical of somebody, or critique, it is all of a sudden you're hating. All of a sudden you're hating. You know, so I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, let's Vic says, come on, South Carolina won 4 games this season without Cardoso by an average of 30 points, including UConn. Yeah. I don't think they're gonna have a problem without Kamilla. Like I don't see them having a problem at all. If they do, then they got a whole nother issue to deal with. I don't see them losing in the first round. Absolutely don't see them losing. Okay, let's see. Hinokami Kai says they clearly don't go here if they're saying you or anyone else a part of the awesome people of the internet hating on Angel Reese. Facts, man. The awesome people of the internet, we not hating on nobody. You know, different people may have their favorites. I personally don't, but different people of the awesome people of the internet have their favorite players, of course, have their favorite teams, of course, but we not hating on nobody. We not hating on nobody. Now, I do want to just sort of go through the stats real quick for those who didn't get a chance to watch the game. I just want to let you all know generally what happened and who scored what and whatnot. Overall, again, for South Carolina, it really was all about MiLaysia Fulwiley, who did her thing. She had 24 points in this game. She was 8 of 12 from the field, 4 of 5 from the 3-point line. And she just all around was absolutely phenomenal. Other players for South Carolina that played really well include Te-Hina Paopao, who just, yes, in terms of efficiency-wise, she wasn't great. But she hit 3-pointers when she needed to, right? She was 2 of 7 from 3. The threes that she shot were key. Raven Johnson, controlled the floor as usual. Again, not that great of a shooting night, but it was fine. I mean, I think she controlled the floor. And the thing that I wanted to know about South Carolina is that South Carolina, they passed that ball, right? In the first half, I believe, South Carolina had 13 field goals and they had 10 assists on those 13 field goals. They finished with 16 assists in the game on 28 made field goals. Now, that's something that's key for this team, right? You want to make sure that the ball is flowing, and you want to make sure that not only is the ball flowing, you want to make sure that it's in rhythm, that people are getting shots in rhythm. You're moving the ball around, and the assist is where it's at. The assist is absolutely where it is at. Now for LSU, Angel Reese did her thing, had 15 points, 13 rebounds, another double-double, 7 of 19 from the field. She was kind of hurt for the game. If you all noticed, at that 2-minute mark when that altercation happened, Angel Reese was actually limping to the bench. She was actually limping to the bench when that happened, and I believe that 20-minute delay really helped her sort of get herself together to actually finish the game. But she was hurting. Angel Reese was absolutely hurting in that game, and it was very, very clear that she was hurting. Anissa Moros had 19 points in this game. Again, another double-double with 10 rebounds. The problem that I saw with both Anissa and Angel is, yes, they got some rebounds, but also there were some missed layups that they had at the basket. Though I will say, to their defense, a good amount of those were actually fouls that were not called. If the refs are not going to call it, you have to be able to still finish. You still have to finish because they're not going to always call it for you. They're not going to always call it for you. Let's see what y'all. Wishful Thinking says, can y'all stop calling these girls ghetto and thugs? They're all college-educated young women trying to make something out of their lives. Tempers and bad decision got the best of them. Yes. For whoever in the chat is saying that, like, first of all, you're wrong. Exactly what Wishful Thinking said. Like, they're not ghetto. They're not thugs. They are young women who got in the heat of the moment. And, it is what it is, right? So yes, these are all educated women who are doing their thing. They're going to go on to do great things for themselves and their families. So no, they are not ghetto. They are not thugs. They are not. Absolutely not. So please do not be saying that in the chat. That is not what the awesome people at the internet are about. That's not what we're about. We don't do that here. We do not do that here. So thank you. I hope whoever is saying that, I hope you have received the message that I've just given you. Like, we're not doing that. We are not doing that at all. All right. Thank y'all. MMA Lifestyle says, also, there were many people calling Angel weak or dumb for not supporting her teammates. There's a reason she walked away from the scuffle. She wants to make sure she can play in the first round. Yeah. Also, whoever's saying that, y'all crazy. You didn't see Angel limping off. And also, even if she wasn't limping, there is something to be said about basketball IQ when you're on the bench. There is something to be said about that. All the players who jumped up off the bench and went on to the court and whatnot, that's not smart basketball IQ. Because you trying to get a better look, you trying to protect your teammate, all that stuff, that is going to result in one thing: an ejection from you. Angel Reese was smart for not moving towards what was happening. Yes, she was hurting, but also she was smart for not getting all into it. Like, because it would have been bad for her. There's nothing good that comes when your teammate is in an altercation. I don't know why you would go and try to defend them. Why? Because you know what's going to happen. You 100% know you're going to get ejected. At best, you're going to get ejected. So I personally don't understand that. Like, why get on the court and see what's going on and try to defend your teammate? Why? There's coaches that do that. There's security that do that. So I think it doesn't make any sense. And now all those players got ejected. They're lucky that they're able to play the next game. But can you imagine if this happened in the first quarter and now you have to finish the rest of the game with 5 players because everybody on your bench decided to get off the court? I mean, to get on the court and just see what was going to happen or just sort of be there for their teammate. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't get it. And I know that coaches, I believe that coaches do tell their players this. They say, hey, like, guys, let's, if something happens, don't leave the bench. Coaches say it all the time. When stuff happens, you're getting ejected. Once you step off of the bench, you're getting ejected. It doesn't matter if you actually engage or anything. It doesn't matter. Once you step off, you are going to be ejected. You are. So I think that that's something that these coaches are going to have to continue to tell these players, because clearly they didn't remember it. You cannot get on the court when an altercation happens. You cannot get off the bench. You will be ejected. You will. You absolutely will. So yeah, I think that was important to say. Also, guys, we do have the video of Kim Mulkey and the rest of LSU doing their post-game presser. So we will go to that, just so you all can see what was said in that. So yeah, we will go to that. All right. Give me just a sec, guys. We will go over to that sound. All right. All right, guys. Let's take a listen. Let's take a listen to what was said in the postgame presser.
We're ready. Let's rock and roll.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome to the press conference for the LSU Tigers. We're joined by head coach Kim Mulkey and student athlete Angel Reese. A reminder to the media that the locker rooms following today's game are not open. We will begin with questions for Angel, and then we'll take questions for Coach Mulkey. Tessa.
Tessa Boucher with NBC 33 in Baton Rouge. Angel, have you ever been a part of a game like that one?
No, I've never been a part of a game like that, but of course, you know, two heavy hitters, we gonna battle. We're not scared of them, they're not scared of us. We came in and know what we had, they came in and know what they had, and it turned up and went ways that we didn't want it to go, but I'm proud of this team. We fought with 5, maybe 6 healthy players, if that. Just know we're not scared, and we're at a place right now that I'm proud of, and I'm happy to where we are right now.
Corey.
Yeah, Angel, to that point, I wanted to get you to expound a little bit more on how this team, as shorthanded as you guys were and how beat and banged up as you guys were, this is the #1 team in the country, and you guys gave them everything that they can handle again today.
We're not going to make that an excuse. We're not scared of South Carolina, and I'm going to repeat that. We're not scared of South Carolina. And a lot of people are scared of them, and we came in and battled to the end. And, of course, we came up short, but we'll see them again, or whoever will see them again. But I'm just...
Y'all, she said she's not scared. She's not scared of South Carolina. She's not scared.
Just happy, and I'm going to acknowledge my teammates first, because Janae, Aaliyah, they came off the bench and did big things for us. Michaela, she was frustrated because she had to do minimum numbers in minimum time, but she came out there and did what she did, and she defended and she played as hard as she could. So being able to be proud of this team, I'm not going to give them all the credit because I know how hard we played. We played hard, we played tough, we did whatever it took to win, and sadly we came up short, but I'm happy where we are right now, and anybody seeing us moving forward should be scared.
Y'all, that is part of what Angel Reese had to say. Y'all, Angel Reese is such a great leader, in my opinion. I think she is just such a great leader. The way that she talks about her teammates, the way that she has her teammates back, the way that she uplifts her teammate. To me, it's in Aaliyah Del Rosario and Janae Kent. I think it's special. I think it is absolutely special. So I do want to just fast forward to see what so we can hear what Coach Kim Mulkey had to say. But y'all, Angel Reese said she ain't scared. She not scared, and whoever they going against next, y'all better watch out, because Angel Reese, you know, she mean business. Let's hear what Coach Kim Mulkey had to say.
With NBC in Baton Rouge, Coach Mulkey, in a game like that, I mean, where do you even start? What is going through your mind? All the things.
They did exactly what I thought they would do. I got some champions out there. Guys, you got a kid with a gimpy ankle. You got 2 starters, basically. Michaela got some minutes. She got cleared to get a few minutes. We're in a good spot. Angel is right. We're playing some pretty good basketball right now, and that's just the God's truth. They got a lot of depth. One kid basically hurt us today, and that was Fulwiley. You look at the stats. How can you not leave here and go, God, I wish that the playoffs started next week. But we'll have everybody back. Everybody's good to go. So the NCAA, you don't need to call me and ask if Michaela Williams is good. You don't need to ask me if Angel Reese is good. You don't need to ask me about Poa. She's only in concussion protocol.
Oh, okay.
We are playing our best basketball. Congratulations to South Carolina. They made plays when we would cut the lead. Turnovers killed us today. Turnovers. And it was very, very physical.
So yeah, that is basically what was said in the post game presser from Coach Kim Mulkey. Now I do want to also share the post game presser for South Carolina, and so you can hear what she has to say about that. Actually, here's another question that I actually think would be helpful for us to all hear from Coach Kim Mulkey. We'll go to that, and then we'll go to what Don Staley had to say.
Kim, forgive me, I have to ask, just what was your vantage point of kind of what shook out there in the last couple of minutes of the game?
Well, let me say this. Do you realize there was only one foul called on each team with 2 minutes to play in the fourth quarter? Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm. She right about that?
That might have created some of that.
Yep, she right.
Not the way we play. We're going to foul your ass. Not the way they play. They're going to foul your ass. But you only blew that whistle one time?
Mm-hmm.
Think about that now.
She got a point.
Flage, what I saw, intentionally fouled Fulwiley because she stripped her. Great move, because she's going to get a layup right there. And then some jawing went on with her and another player, and then the next thing I know, Cardoso just waylaid her. And so I ran because somebody came out of the stands. I think it was Flage's brother trying to keep him, from doing anything crazy. But that was all I know. I can't tell you from my bench how many left the court. Obviously, they saw it on film and said everybody had to go. And then I think one player for South Carolina didn't leave the bench. But my question is, I don't really know the rules. Why weren't the coaches tossed if they left the bench? Wouldn't that be a hell of an ending? But I guess it's just the players that leave the bench area. I don't know. It's ugly. It's not good. No one wants to be a part of that. Mm-hmm. No one wants to see that ugliness. But I can tell you this. I wish she would have pushed Angel Reese. Don't push a kid. You 6'8". Don't push somebody that little. That was uncalled for, in my opinion. Let those two girls that were jawing, let them go at it.
Reed?
All right, guys, that is what Coach Kim Mulkey had to say. She said quite a bit, y'all. She said quite a bit. One is the fact that the refs didn't call stuff, and she absolutely has a point there. Absolutely has a point there. The fact that the refs didn't call anything. Yes, both teams were fouling. Both teams were fouling, and the refs didn't call it, and it got heated. And push came to shove, literally, and we get what we got. We get what we got. And I just yeah, she was like she wouldn't have stepped to Angel Reese like that. I mean, possibly. I love her or hate her. I think Kim Mulkey gives some great pressers. I feel like she's very real and she says whatever she wants to say. But it was the refs' fault. It was, and I think she rightly called them out on that. The fact that there were only there weren't really any fouls at the end of the game. But also one thing I noticed about Kim Mulkey is that she didn't mention the fact that she didn't mention the fact that Flage Johnson had it wasn't just drawing. It wasn't just drawing. It was a little bit of forearm push from my vantage point, at least. It looked like a forearm push by Flage Johnson. So I think that should have been acknowledged. Not just they were drawing, but no, also there was actually something physical that happened in that game. So I think that should have been acknowledged. But the commentary about she wouldn't have did that to Angel Reese. Like I think it's just like, and she said it with such a serious face. That like sometimes when I listen to Kim Mulkey, sometimes I just gotta laugh because I'm just like, what? Why would you say that? Like, and the whole idea about why wasn't the coaches tossed or whatever. Like sometimes Kim Mulkey is kind of funny. Sometimes she's kind of funny. But yeah, guys. I also don't think Camila Cardoso is afraid of Kim Mulkey. I don't believe she's afraid of Kim Mulkey at all. I'm sorry. I don't think Camila Cardoso is afraid of Angel Reese. I don't think that. But y'all, not South Carolina, University of Southern California is looking like they might upset Stanford. They're winning 56-46 USC. Now I do want to just look at oh wait, do we not have I guess we don't have it. Okay. I will try to find Dawn Staley's and then post hers. Aquarius, I mean the fact that she like yelled in Flauja Johnson's face. I mean, players do that all the time. I don't know. I think if you're just talking, I don't mind it much if you're just talking. It's if you get physical, then that's when it's a thing. That is really, really the thing. Tangela says, "Quitter, you have a mean mug on your face. Are you mad?" No, I'm not mad. I just I don't know. I don't know. It's just my face. I don't know what to tell you. But no, I'm not upset. I'm not upset. Nope. Terry said, "I was about to say Kim she better not be scared." Kim Mulkey say whatever she want. Kim Mulkey say whatever she want. And you know, she has been in the game for a very long time, so she has earned that right to say whatever the heck she wants. Guys, also a thing to notice is that Juju Watkins in that USC Stanford game, Juju Watkins only has 6 points, and USC is winning. Crazy. Guys, for that one, I'll probably have to do a later stream to talk about that game. So yeah. But yeah, guys, I mean that's what happened. That's what happened. It was a good, tough game throughout. But it turns out that South Carolina just had a little bit more. But the thing I will say is that even with the lack of players, really, lack of playable players for LSU, they still only lost this game by 7 points. So at the end of the day, LSU is still not in a bad spot. Yes, they lost against South Carolina, but like, if you look at the game, if you look at the way they played, if you look at the fact that this game was still extremely close without last year Poa, which, breaking news, Kim Mulkey in the presser said that Poa will be available for the NCAA tournament. So you don't have Poa. Michaela Williams is on minutes restrictions. And now you play a game like the way you played against South Carolina. I think if you're LSU, you're not holding your head down at all. You're like, man, we got pretty close. we're not that bad. Yes, of course, South Carolina is still better than you, but I think they should have their head held high. Now, South Carolina, I think they should be like, yeah, we got the dub. Yes, MiLaysia Fulwiley played great, but we didn't play that great. Overall, we did not play that great, and we still won. So that should be a boost to South Carolina as well. South Carolina is a youngish team, right? They're a youngish team, and they didn't play great and still won. So to me, both teams, if you take out the altercation that happened in the last 2 minutes, if you take that piece out, I think both teams should come out of this game thinking, okay, we got some positives. We got some positives. So that's something that I did want to just specifically call out. I thought that South Carolina didn't play great besides MiLaysia Fulwiley, and they still got the dub. And I think that LSU, with being as depleted as they were, having Janae Kent start the game and play a lot of minutes, with that being said, they still made it a game. They still made it a game, and I thought that was pretty interesting. Crystal says, Quita, are you going to discuss the other games like UConn and Notre Dame and Iowa? Yes, however, not in the stream. So, guys, I will... I actually was not planning on doing a stream after this South Carolina game, LSU game. I was going to wait until after USC versus Stanford and do like a full recap. But with what was happening, I was like, okay, I guess I gotta go live to talk about this. So guys, what we will do is we will take a bit of a break. And I will I'm recording the USC Stanford game right now, so I'm gonna watch that and be back with you all probably around. I mean, I'll record it, so I'll skip all the commercials. So I'll probably be back around 7 p.m. like 7 p.m. like 7 p.m. or 7:15 p.m. tonight, and then that actually will be the full recap of everything that happened today. So I did watch the Iowa versus Nebraska game. Shout out to Iowa, who won the Big Ten championship. I also watched the Notre Dame game as well, and they won. So yes, I will be talking about all the other games. I will talk about all the other games in the stream later today. So again, that's going to be around 7 or around 7:15, where I will recap the USC Stanford game. I will recap the Iowa Nebraska game. I will recap oh my goodness, can I think? I'm gonna recap the Notre Dame North Carolina State game. I will also talk about the UConn game, UConn versus Marquette as well. I did watch that game as well. Aaliyah Edwards was out for this game, and UConn still destroyed the competition. So we will talk about all of that. So guys, I will leave it at that. I do appreciate y'all for hopping on, for rocking with me. Guys, I will be back in about a little bit less than 2 hours for another stream that will actually be a real recap of the weekend of champions. And we'll talk about everything there. And in that next stream, we will not really be talking about the South Carolina game. So hopefully all of y'all got y'all South Carolina LSU talk out now, because that next stream is not going to be about South Carolina LSU. All right. So I do appreciate y'all so much for rocking with me. If y'all have not subscribed to the channel, I hope that y'all subscribe. Tangela says, I love your content. I'm watching you on my iPad, TV, and cell phone. Thank you so much, Tangela. I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Thank y'all for rocking with me. I will see y'all next time. Thank you all so much for the folks that were in the chat today. Thank you so much for the mods. Yeah, guys, let's talk about the game we love. Let's talk smack. That's fine. No problem with that. But also, guys, let's be respectful. All right. Let's make sure that we are respectful, and we realize that everybody we're talking about is a human being. They're a human being that has greatness in their future. They make mistakes. They have issues, just like you. So let's be mindful when we talk about other people. Let's very well be mindful, guys. I do appreciate y'all for rocking with me. And until 7 p.m., guys, I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.